Football gaming has seen a ton of titles over the years, but let's be real, only one can claim the title of the greatest. As we wrap up the FIFA era, it's the perfect time to look back at the EAFC/FIFA video games that stand out above the rest.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
Let's rewind to 1997, when FIFA 98 Road to World Cup first dropped. For those who remember it, this game wasn't just another entry in the FIFA franchise. It was the one that changed everything. Booting up FIFA 98 today feels like catching up with an old friend after years apart. It takes you back to a time when football gaming was at its peak, and you can't help but feel a wave of nostalgia with every whistle and tackle. But what truly makes this game unforgettable is the World Cup mode. For fans who dreamed of guiding their country to World Cup glory, this was a dream come true. And of course, no mention of FIFA 98 would be complete without a nod to its iconic soundtrack. Blur's Song 2 was the anthem that instantly transported players to the excitement of match day, making it a perfect companion for this groundbreaking game. Gameplay-wise, FIFA 98 was revolutionary. It was the first FIFA game to introduce the offside rule, bringing a level of realism that football fans had been craving. For the first time, referees appeared on screen, and there were also indirect free kicks for non-aggressive fouls. This made players feel like they were truly part of a match, where every whistle and call counted. These weren't just new features, they set the standard for how football video games would be developed in the future. FIFA 98 didn't just raise the bar for the series, it created the bar. It was the game that made football fans believe they could control the beautiful game. For those who never got the chance to experience it, revisiting FIFA 98 today, it's like flipping through the pages of football's digital history. A must-play for any true fan of the sport. Fast forward a couple of years and the start of a new millennium brought us FIFA 2000. This game didn't just celebrate the start of a new century, it revolutionized career mode for the first time. Players can now guide their team through multiple seasons, aiming for promotions or fighting to avoid relegation. For the first time, European competitions were on the table, opening up a whole new level of gameplay for fans who craved realism and long-term goals. But perhaps one of the most notable aspects of FIFA 2000 was the inclusion of Major League Soccer, MLS. This marked a major shift, especially for North American fans who had long hoped to see their league represented in FIFA. From this point on, MLS became a regular part of the series, growing in importance as the league itself flourished. Despite its innovations, FIFA 2000 is now seen through a lens of nostalgia. On PCs and PlayStations of the time, the game was beloved, but compared to today's ultra-sophisticated titles, its graphics and mechanics feel a bit dated. Yet for many, this game remains a cherished part of their footballing past, a reminder of where FIFA came from. Then there's FIFA 22. To some, this might seem like an odd inclusion alongside the classics. The FIFA franchise has seen its ups and downs in recent years, with many fans feeling that innovation had slowed, especially with the rise of Ultimate Team dominating attention. But FIFA 22 stood out as a breath of fresh air. It was one of the most well-balanced games in the series in recent memory. For anyone who wanted a solid football experience without all the flashy stuff and grind of Ultimate Team, FIFA 22 had you covered. Ultimately, FIFA 22 may not have captured the magic of earlier titles, but for many it was a step in the right direction, reminding players of the balanced competitive gameplay that first made FIFA great. But before FIFA 22, there was FIFA 17, a game that did more than just tweak mechanics. It took a bold step into new territory, with The Journey, a mode that transformed the player into a rising football star both on and off the pitch. For the first time, FIFA wasn't just about playing football, it was about living it, complete with all the highs, lows, and hard choices of a professional career. This wasn't just another entry in the franchise, it was a story, one that made the dream of football glory feel a little more real. In The Journey, you weren't just playing football, you were stepping into the shoes of Alex Hunter, a young player trying to make it in the professional world. It was more than just winning matches, it was about the choices you made off the pitch as well. The friendships you formed, the big career decisions, even the rivalries. All of it was up to you. It felt like living out a footballer's career, where every match, every conversation, and every interview influenced Hunter's story. Suddenly, FIFA became more than just a game. It turned into a narrative that pulled you in, making every goal, every victory, and even every setback feel personal. And if you thought The Journey was just a gimmick, think again. The second installment, The Journey Hunter Returns, took things even further. The story got deeper, the stakes higher. You followed Alex Hunter as he navigated through the twists and turns of his career, facing new challenges both on and off the pitch. It felt authentic, raw, and emotional. The choices you made felt like they mattered. FIFA 17 didn't just change how we played football games, it made us feel them. But FIFA 17 wasn't the only time EA Sports took the franchise to new heights. Just a few years earlier, FIFA 13's Ultimate Team mode had also been a game changer, shaking up how football management was handled in the series. In Ultimate Team, you had the power to build your dream team from the ground up, picking players from across the globe and putting them together to create a squad that suited your style. It wasn't just about collecting cards or winning matches, it was about strategy, planning, and knowing how to manage your team to reach the top. Managing chemistry wasn't just an afterthought, it became a key part of the strategy. Building a team of superstars was great, but if they didn't gel well together on the pitch, you weren't going to get far. The addition of this element made FIFA 13 Ultimate Team not just a game of skill, but a test of your football knowledge, your ability to think ahead, and your managerial instincts. This was football management on a whole new level, and it set the standard for all the Ultimate Team modes that followed. Then we have FIFA 16, a game that holds a special place in the hearts of football fans. What made it stand out? Well, it wasn't just another annual release. It brought something genuinely fresh to the table. It felt different, and for good reason. The biggest innovation? The introduction of the no-touch dribbling system, a mechanic directly inspired by Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest footballer of all time. This feature allowed players to move around the ball with more fluidity, adding a layer of strategy that hadn't been seen before. Suddenly you weren't just dribbling, you were toying with your opponent, setting them up for that perfect move. It made the game feel more real and engaging, giving you a deeper sense of control over the beautiful game. FIFA 16 didn't just improve attacking play, it completely changed the defensive side of the game too. Defenders became faster, more agile, and far trickier to beat. No longer could you just breeze past them with ease. Now you had to think 2 steps ahead, weaving through carefully, as they would quickly adapt to your every move. It made for a more challenging experience, but that's what made it so rewarding. Suddenly every match felt like a tactical battle. Fast forward to FIFA 18 and Cristiano Ronaldo took center stage on the cover. This was the game that continued the much-loved The Journey mode. Remember Alex Hunter, the fictional young star you guided through his career? In FIFA 17 you could customize him for the first time, and FIFA 18 built on that even more. But what really set FIFA 18 apart was its move to the Frostbite engine. The graphics took a giant leap forward. Players didn't just look like their real-life counterparts, they moved and reacted in ways that felt more authentic than ever. However, FIFA 18 wasn't without its controversies. For the first time, EA introduced microtransactions in Ultimate Team, which stirred up quite a storm. Players felt that it was a step too far, making the game more about spending money than skill. Unfortunately, this issue has persisted ever since, casting a shadow over what was otherwise an excellent game. Then came FIFA 19, a game so good we have to talk about it. Why? Because it gave fans exactly what they'd been craving: realism. The Frostbite 3 engine worked wonders here, making every match feel like you were right there on the pitch. The stadiums, the player animations, the crowd, it was all stunningly lifelike. But it wasn't just about looks. The gameplay took things up another level, with even more control over the ball and smarter AI players to compete against. The biggest addition, the UEFA Champions League. After years of waiting, fans could finally play through the biggest club tournament in world football. The tension, the drama, it was all captured beautifully in FIFA 19, making it an unforgettable entry in the series. But every era has to evolve, and FIFA 20 brought some changes of its own. Gone was The Journey, and in its place was Volta Football, a nod to street football culture. Small teams, flashy tricks, tight spaces. It brought a whole new style of play to the franchise. You could even design your player to look exactly the way you wanted, adding a layer of personal flair to the game. Other improvements in FIFA 20 focused on the fundamentals. Penalties and free kicks became harder, adding more depth to those key moments. And the manager mode got a boost with new customization options for both managers and players. But if we're really going back, let's talk about FIFA 07. For many, it wasn't just the gameplay, but the music. Muse's supermassive black hole echoing through the menus that defined the era. The game itself, a masterpiece. The mechanics were smoother than ever, and the beloved manager mode truly elevated the experience. FIFA 07 wasn't just another entry in the series, it was a defining moment that captured the thrill of the game in a way that felt new and exciting. What stood out most about FIFA 07 was the way the ball moved. Suddenly, players could bend the ball around defenders with an unprecedented level of control, leading to highlight-worthy goals that made each match feel like a personal triumph. It brought a sense of realism that set it apart from the ones before it. The gameplay wasn't just fluid, it was dynamic and captivating. Fans of the series also remember the leap in graphics and sound. From the detailed animations to the roar of the crowd echoing in the background, FIFA 07 was a sensory experience that put you in the middle of the action. The manager mode became a highlight too, where buying and selling players felt more engaging than ever before. Player happiness was tied to team performance, adding a layer of strategy that hooked gamers for hours. If there's a conversation about FIFA games with a heavy dose of nostalgia, FIFA 94 often enters the mix. Released as the first entry in the franchise, it was a massive hit at the time, and while it's easy to look back through rose-colored glasses, the charm of FIFA 94 is undeniable. With its simple mechanics and surprising addictiveness, it became a favorite among fans. In fact, one quirky feature where players could outrun the referee still brings a smile to the faces of those who remember it. It's a funny glitch that somehow makes FIFA 94 memorable, even if it doesn't compare to the depth of modern titles. Then there's FIFA 04, a game that revolutionized the series by introducing career mode. This feature wasn't just a fun addition, it was a game changer. For the first time, players could manage their favorite teams, control transfers, and make strategic decisions that impacted their club's success. The thrill of leading an underdog team to victory or signing that dream player was unmatched. Before FIFA 04, these choices didn't exist, and when they were finally introduced, they elevated the game to a whole new level. Career mode wasn't the only innovation FIFA 04 brought to the table. Off-the-ball control allowed players to manage multiple players at the same time, making the gameplay even more immersive. Combined with impressive graphics for the time and dynamic commentary that pulled you into the action, FIFA 04 became a landmark in the series, paving the way for future innovations that are still seen in the franchise today. But let's fast forward to a global stage, the FIFA 14 World Cup edition. If you've ever dreamed of playing in the World Cup, this game gave you that opportunity in stunning fashion. The 2014 World Cup in Brazil was an unforgettable event, and FIFA 14 captured that excitement, giving fans the most immersive experience of the tournament. EA Sports went all out with the graphics, making each stadium feel like a masterpiece. The attention to detail was stunning, from the lush green fields to the electric atmosphere in the stands. It felt like you were sitting in the front row of a World Cup match. What set FIFA 14 apart though was how real it felt to play. With improvements to the Ignite engine, the players were smarter and the gamers had more control over their actions. It was like stepping onto the field and making those key passes and perfect shots yourself. For fans of the FIFA franchise, the World Cup mode in FIFA 14 was one of the best experiences ever offered. It wasn't just about playing the game, it was about living the World Cup dream. FIFA 12 was more than just another football game, it was a revolution. When it hit the shelves, it felt like everyone was talking about it. Players who had grown used to the mechanics of previous games were stunned by how different everything suddenly felt. It wasn't just the graphics or the smoothness of gameplay, it was the introduction of the Impact engine that truly set FIFA 12 apart. EA Sports knew they had something special. They marketed the Impact engine as a breakthrough, claiming it would transform every aspect of the game, from how players shot to how they defended. And they were right. It wasn't just a cosmetic upgrade, it made the gameplay feel new, like nothing fans had experienced before. But that wasn't all. FIFA 12 also brought in tactical defending, a system that forced players to think like real defenders. No more mindlessly sprinting at attackers and hoping for the best. Now, timing and positioning were everything. At first, it was frustrating. Players who had spent years relying on muscle memory had to learn all over again. But once they mastered it, the reward was huge. The game felt deeper, more strategic, and ultimately more satisfying. Yet for all its innovation, many fans insist that FIFA 15 holds the title of the greatest football game ever made. The game wasn't just realistic, it was alive. With the introduction of emotional intelligence, players reacted to events on the pitch like they never had before. A missed shot, a last-minute tackle, every moment mattered. and players would respond accordingly, creating an intensity that made each match feel personal. The commentary too was a standout. Martin Tyler and Alan Smith didn't just narrate the action, they brought the match to life. Whether it was a common pass or a dramatic goal, their voices elevated the experience, making it feel like you were right there in the stadium, part of the excitement. For casual gamers, FIFA 15 was welcoming, thanks to its simpler controls, but for die-hard fans, the game didn't lose its edge. It was still challenging, still rewarding. The ball physics were nothing short of revolutionary. Every pass, every shot felt like it had weight, and that unpredictability kept players coming back match after match. And of course, there was Ultimate Team. FIFA 15's version was the smoothest yet. The gameplay improvements and realistic physics made building and playing with a dream team feel better than ever before.